Hello and welcome. I'm Tracey-Jane Hughes from businesscheerleadingclub.com, and I help busy people who are passionate about their thing to grow in confidence and develop their business their way. And I'm delighted today to be joined by Alice Elliott from commentingclub.com. And Alice, just give us a bit of background about what you do and how you help businesses to grow.
It's actually commentingclub.co.uk, but never mind.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
I will update that.
Thank you. And so what do? I help people understand the power of commenting and how it can make a big difference to their businesses, because many people have no concept. That's right. That's correct. No concept of the power of commenting, the power of communication, the power of interaction, the power of engagement, how all this can actually help improve a business's visibility throughout the web, as it were. So in a sense, businesses who don't engage are, in a sense, silent and forgotten, whereas businesses who do engage suddenly become alive and noticeable, and people are much more likely to want to find out more about them.
That makes a lot of sense, and that fits in with lots of stuff that I've been doing around PR recently as well. And it's interesting that you're saying that businesses that don't engage with other people are sort of hidden, whereas those that do engage are, sort of more visible. But that's often the opposite way round to how businesses think about what they should be doing online, for example.
It's crazy. I mean, if you've got a blog, for example, or you've got a social media group and nothing happens in it, nobody's going to be interested in coming along and finding out what it contains. Whereas if you go out talking to people, saying, this is information here. Have you heard about XYZ? I've got information ABC. It's all in my group, or it's all in my blog. Do you want to come along and look at it? Or you come along and you read other people's updates and blogs and whatever, and you provide decent comments, then they're much more likely to think, who's this person? Because half the time, the comment you've given is going to be streets ahead of all the other comments that are out there, especially if you're forthcoming, helpful, useful, added value, and all the things like, forthcoming. It's all important to get yourself noticed because you've made the effort to be more proactive in how you communicate and make connections with that person.
So it's a lot of engaging with others. It is around just being yourself, then, from what you're saying, and just adding value. So adding your expertise onto somebody else's, thread, I guess.
Yes, feed or thread. In a sense, it's no good you sitting there being silent. It's no good you there nodding in appreciation because nobody can see you nod. You've got to actually start silent. You've got to start being vocal. You've got to start making noises. It's got to be appreciative noises. You've got to show that you've read or understood or have an empathy with what's going on. And if you're able to, without being too gushy or too smarmy, be able to show how much you've understood and appreciate the update or the post or whatever you've done, that is going to draw far more attention to you than if you didn't do anything at all, or just did a like, or or even, a share is better than nothing. But again, it's rather anonymous, because you have a chance through engaging to draw more attention to yourself for the right reasons, especially if what you say is worthy and worth reading.
Yeah, so when we first sort of, set up this conversation, which is obviously about us, commenting on each other's work. So, I like, I really like and appreciate the work that you do, Alice, and I often comment on your on your social media posts and your actual blog posts, and I frequently share them because for my audience they are really powerful and useful to help them to get their businesses found, which is, the businesses that the people that I work with are wanting to grow their business and grow, their visibility online. So what you do is directly of interest to my audience.
Yes, of course.
So
also to anybody's audience, though.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. And, it's about how, it's not being about being not precious about what we do. It's about we can all help each other, and you have something to add, whatever your viewpoint, whether you agree with what's being written or whether you don't agree with what's being written, then you can still add your voice to that and still get heard by just commenting.
It's just literally allowing yourself to have your say and your opinion about what you've read. And hopefully it's always going to be positive and forthcoming, because everybody knows that the comments that aren't positive and forthcoming are going to be either ignored or deleted. So you've got to think carefully, first of all, how can I help the person I'm commenting on? And how can what I say help me as well? You've really got to focus more on the other person, but you've also got to have a proper objective, a proper reason for commenting, and so that the underlying factor will help both parties, as not just yourself. So in a sense, it's quite altruistic what you are doing. You're being a kind of altruistic person by commenting on someone's update or someone's post. You're helping them, you're adding to the conversation, you're enhancing what's already written. And the whole idea is that by doing this, you not only help the person, but you also draw attention to yourself, but for the right reasons. And that's extremely important.
Yeah. So when we started talking about having this conversation as a live to help other people, we sort of, or you suggested that you can actually comment and bring attention to yourself, to your target audience. So how would somebody go about doing that, Alice?
Well, it's a good idea to do research to find the right kind of updates or the right kind of blogs or the right kind of people to follow. You've always got to have a proper purpose, a proper objective, whatever you do. So, for example, if you want to find an influencer, for example, to help you, you do some research on that influencer, you do some sleuthing, you find out what they're interested in, what they've recently written, what they've said on social media, what their aims and objectives are, and all the different content that they've created. And so you actually saturate yourself as much as you possibly can about that particular influencer. And then you go and start commenting on their actions that they do within the web, within the social media, within their blogs. If they've written a post, comment on it. If they've written an update, comment on it. If they've done a tweet, respond with another tweet. If they've done a Facebook update, you do, either share it or make a comment. It's almost like you get yourself visible by engaging with them, but how you do it's got to be helpful and forthcoming. You do not do it in a smarmy way. You do not over ingratiate yourself. You don't stalk them unnecessarily. You literally show that you have taken an interest in them and that you have bothered to find out as much as possible about them, and that you really want to find out more about them because you made the effort to do that, to do the research on them. And in a sense, if you do this right, you can then come across as the influencer will be impressed, hopefully. And if they're impressed, then they're much more likely to engage with you if you then eventually approach the question you want to ask them. Can you help me with this? Or can you advise me on that? Or whatever you need the influencer for.
Yeah.
But they're not going to do it if you go in cold before you start engaging with them. So in a sense, commenting is like a process for networking, for creating relationships, for creating an awareness of who you are and what you do in relation to somebody else who you are commenting with. And that's why it needs to be done over a period of time. It can't be done in 5 minutes. It has to be done purely, it has to be a long-term affair. Otherwise, you're going to become across as a spammer or stalker, or you should have a junction put on you because you're irritating that person. No, the way to do it is to gradually become friends by comments. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds a lovely way of building a relationship, Alice. Building an online relationship with somebody who is either an influencer or a potential customer for you, if you depending on what your business is, whether you're business to business or business to consumer. Again, you can't be spammy or really sort of in people's faces, but that simple act of commenting and sharing your opinions, it's just about that if you think of going into a room of of people, you would automatically gravitate to those that you think can help you, or you think you can help them. So commenting is literally just doing that online, isn't it?
Yes. Another thing that's interesting about commenting is that I get requests for guest posts all the time. And these people say, "Oh, I've read your blog. I think it's wonderful, blah, blah, blah. And I'd love to write a guest post about cushions or dog food and I was thinking, no, you haven't read my blog. You haven't, you don't know what my blog is about. It's not about dog food. It's not about home furnishings. It's about blogging, or it's about commenting." And they say, "Oh, can we write this lovely post about blah, blah, blah about e-commerce?" No, it's not about e-commerce, because they haven't bothered, A, to read the blog, and B, they haven't bothered to actually engage on that blog. If they had engaged, if they had read the posts, if they had worked out what the subject was, if they had actually made an effort to leave comments and share the post and talk about it on elsewhere, then me or any other author of our blog who's looking to accept guest posts would be far more warm and appreciative towards them and allow them to guest post than somebody who's gone in there cold and useless and all guns blazing and got it completely wrong because they haven't bothered to do the engagement in the first place. If you want to get an eminent post on something like HuffPost or any other large, big blog, either you get recommended by somebody else who blogs there, or you do this process of engaging and commenting and letting them know that you're interested because you really care about that blog. Yes. And that's how you get ahead for all the others who are just basically can't be bothered.
Yeah. And it sounds so simple, Alice, but I know, from the business owners that I work with, that they're often scared by doing this.
And also,
what would be your tip for helping them not be scared and just start commenting?
My first tip would be to read. Do lots of reading, lots of research, lots of lurking. This sounds against the commenting, but you need to prime yourself. You need to be ready. You need to be have lots of information to hand before you start commenting. That will make the process of commenting much easier. If you've primed yourself and engaged and actually got the information to hand, when it comes to commenting, the information that is there. You haven't got to search for anything. You've learned it all. You've accrued it all. You've put that. You've managed to retain that information. So once you've actually done all the hard work, the hard graft, when it comes to commenting, it isn't that difficult. And also start small. You don't have to give them chapter and verse. All you've got to do is to do a few tiny comments, two funny appreciative noises in a different direction. You know, if you've read someone's post, you say, I think that was absolutely brilliant. This particular point, ABC, I really have say her reaction to it. Or if you're feeling controversial, you can even say, I love your post, but this particular point, EFG, I didn't agree with because of ABC. But you always must give a real, proper, valuable reason for disagreeing with something. If you can't disagree with them and say that's it, you've got to disagree with them with facts or figures or opinion or information that you can back up your disagreement. Otherwise, you will not be, the person who receives your disagreement will not be appreciative of your efforts.
Yeah.
You've got to have a reason for everything. But going small and finding that information first, and then small baby steps to getting awareness of you. And once they're aware of you, and once they start responding, then you can start developing your conversations further. I mean, it's like you meet someone at a bus stop. You're not going to start going on about, next door's cats being sick, left, right, and centre. You're going to start saying, isn't the weather good today? Or this bus is taking ages to come along. How often it's supposed to, you do small talk at first. And that's what commenting is, small talk at first. And then as time progresses and you get to know each other, then you develop more into the more lengthy and interesting conversations that can happen online. And that's proper commenting.
I love that small talk. It's small talk. It's online small talk.
It's online small talk, which then can develop onto proper discussions.
Yeah. So online small talk, and that will just help to start those relationships.
And you can proper small talk if you've actually made the effort to find out more about the person before you do it.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you want to go in small talk cold, but then you've got to be really deft at it. It's like chap going up to a girl in the bar and saying compliments. You've got to be careful. She might slap you around the face if you know it right. But there are ways and means of doing it once the techniques have learned. Trial and error. You make a few mistakes and you learn and you watch other people do it and you progress from there.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Alice. That has been brilliant. So let me just make sure I've got the website right, thecommentingclub.co.uk.
Yes.
So if people want more help or support, they can come to you directly. Is that right?
They can. If they want to link with me, they can come. Want to send me an email, and I'll invite you to my private LinkedIn group that I've got going. I've created a private LinkedIn group, and I want to get people in there with a desire to find out more commenting, and then you can start asking questions, and then everybody hopefully will answer, not just me, but I want everybody to participate and answer questions and comments and observations and opinions and things like that.
So people can practice commenting in a safe place.
They can explore commenting in a safe place. Nobody's going to go around saying that's wrong or how silly. It's a safe environment for you to find out as much as you possibly can, all the different aspects of commenting and how it can help people for all different kinds of reasons. So if you contact me, it's Alice at thecommentingclub.co.uk, and I'll invite you on to the special LinkedIn group that we have, and we can start talking, which is great.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Alice.
You're welcome.
From thecommentingclub.co.uk. Got it right this time.
You did.
I'm Tracey-Jane Hughes from businesscheerleadingclub.com, and I'm delighted to have brought this interview and conversation to you today, and I look forward to supporting you grow your business in the future. Until next time.
Bye.